The first leak, and to this we will take certainly some responsibility, is with the consumer. In a day when their funds are torn and diminished and devalued, they have to look for value in all of their purchases, and that includes pet food. So we will take some responsibility for the chain of greed. Retailers who complain loudly and strongly, we don't make the stuff, we just sell it, are liars. They do make it through co-makers like Menu Foods. An attempt to avoid responsibility on their part is and will be found to be criminal. The store brand foods. Why does a company like some of the biggest retailers and the largest retailer in this country need a store brand pet food, period? To increase market share and to increase profits. It's all about the money. The next chain are the pet food manufacturers, including co-makers like Menu Foods, who are under constant pressure from retailers to reduce costs. If they eventually turn to third and fourth level suppliers of pet food ingredients, it is at this point that Menu Foods turns to Chinese, quote, wheat gluten that was selling 20% below the open market price, distributed in the United States by a company called Kim Nutra out of Las Vegas. Number 4 in the link of the chain of greed are the Chinese companies, operating under a virtually non-existent pet food safety system. They look for any way possible to increase profits. Not all of these have proven to be legal or safe. The next is the Chinese government itself, who really doesn't care. As long as the product is being exported, their attitude is that's up to the company importing the product to check for safety. Millions and millions of lives are at stake. What has happened are denials, lies, and refusals for large-scale inspections. There are currently 300, and we're going to talk a little bit, hopefully very briefly, about what can be done. 327 currently official ports of entry. 327. Including, and we'll get back to this, Las Vegas, Nevada. Only about 1%, or just over 1%, all food and foodstuffs imported are ever inspected at all. 1%. Some ports of entry are known to be tougher than others. Importers trying to avoid inspection will usually circumvent the tough ports and go to the ones with somewhat easier reputations. A shipload of ingredients coming in from China going to Long Beach, California, or the Bay Area, will be put on a plane and flown to Las Vegas to avoid and change the port of entry. Ingredients now with more sensitivity, ingredients are flown to other intermediary countries, and that list is long, and may change hands 5 or 6 times in order to cloud the country of origin. This is not an easy thing to deal with. It's a little bit like laundering money. Ever wonder why a company like Kim Nutra, who is the largest importer of foodstuffs from China, chose to have their headquarters in the middle of the desert in Las Vegas, Nevada? Seems just a little bit of a coincidence. FDA inspections of pet food companies and the pet food products also amount to about 1% of production. While the increase in foreign imports of ingredients has increased at the rate of in excess of 10% per year, that's right, 10% per year, the actual number of field agents from the FDA and CBM out in the field conducting inspections has decreased. The American consumer today gets approximately 15% of all the food they eat from foreign sources. In the area of human food, many of these are labeled as made in fill in your own country. In pet food, that doesn't happen. Why? The answer is, I don't know. Why so little regulation and enforcement? Mostly it's money. Well, the FDA and CBM have been able to get small budget increases in the 3 or 4% range, and that's not, there's ways of quoting those numbers.